What's happening, guys? Cooper Carter here for Fractal Audio and G66, and on this week's Fractal Friday, I'm debuting a new mini-series that I'm going to call Blocksmith. In this new series, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to unlock the full power and potential of each one of the effect block types in the new AM4, which each contain far more power than you might expect from just a single effect block type. In this first episode of Blocksmith, I'm going to show you how a delay block can pull double duty as a delay and a chorus, so that any preset you're using delay in, you can also activate some chorus on if you want to, all without turning to a separate chorus block and taking up another slot. Now, as always, this is a very quick video on one particular thing, but if you guys want to get the absolute most out of your Fractal Audio Systems unit, whether that's the Aspx 3, the FM9, or the FM3, make sure to visit classes.coopercarter.com for my complete Fractal Audio Masterclass series. And I am excited to announce that coming in early 2026, there will be masterclasses for the VP4 and the brand new AM4 units from Fractal. So starting out here, we have a preset that contains a compressor, an amplifier, a delay, and a reverb, and it's just a beautiful, clean tone. But when I think of clean tones like this, atmospheric ones, kind of washy ones, my reference point is always Eric Johnson. And for that clean tone, we really do need some chorus. But we're out of blocks here, so what are we going to do? Well, I'm going to turn to the delay block here, and as you see right now, I've got a digital mono delay set at 484 milliseconds, 30% feedback, and about a 33% mix here. Exactly a 33% mix, in fact. So again, the delay here sounds like this. I can bypass the reverb so we can hear what that sounds like without it. So just a very simple digital delay here. What I'm going to do is switch over to a dual delay. The dual delay is my preferred delay type for any time that I'm trying to have exacting control over what's happening in the left and the right channels. So for any kind of ping-ponging or stereo effects, this is where I like to do that sort of thing. So I've got 484 right now. We could just do a 50% left-right ping-pong by typing in 242. So we would get this kind of thing. Classic ping-pong. We'd obviously want to take the feedback on this right up a little bit to get a little more even. If I wanted to do a 75% split, which I'm a huge fan of, that would be, let's calculate here, 363. The kind of galloping 4/3 thing. And then one of my favorites, the golden ratio. You can see 484 times 0.618 is 299. So which is just awesome. I love that for cleans and leads as well. But that's all well and good. We can use the dual delay, obviously, to get some great stereo delay effects. But how are we going to take this delay and turn it into a delay and a chorus at the same time? Delay is kind of the grandfather or the big mama that has given birth to a lot of the other effects that we love. So reverb, for example. Reverb is really just a massive collection of tiny overlapping delays that are all happening at the same time to create the sense of space that we get from reverb, right? So when you hear a reverb, that's a lot of different delays happening at the same time with a ton of diffusion that smooths them all out so that instead of hearing discrete tails, you're hearing a big wash, right? So delay is at the core of reverb. Delay is also very much at the core of chorus. And in fact, a chorus fundamentally is just a delay. It's multiple very short delays that are then kind of knocked slightly out of tune by an LFO, or a low frequency oscillator. So if we go to a chorus pedal here, you'll see that we have a rate, we have a depth, and we have a time. The time is a delay time, a very small one, in this case 5 milliseconds. And in fact, this really only goes up to 50 milliseconds. The depth is the depth of the LFO, how much it's actually sweeping, and the rate is how quickly that LFO is sweeping to modulate that second voice that's actually happening as we're playing, even though it's a single player performance. So let's return to our delay here, and bearing in mind that, again, chorus fundamentally is really just a delay with an LFO leading to a sound that's multiple voices. If I go ahead and copy this channel A digital mono over to channel B, and we go up to scene 2 here, and I select channel B and go over to the dual delay here, we actually have 2 voices. We have a time left and a time right delay. So the first thing I'll do is just set this feedback back to 30% on my 484 delay here. And then I'm actually just going to set the pan on each of these to 0. So now we have a mono delay, just like I had before, digital mono. And we have another line that we can now turn into a chorus. It's automatically selected a very short time here, 4 milliseconds, which is where I'll leave it for this chorus. And the next thing I'm going to do is turn this mix all the way up to 50%. And what this does is allow me to use these 2 level controls as basically sub-mixes. So this is now the level of my delay. So right now this is a 50% delay. It's a lot of delay. So to get it down to kind of where I had it before, I'm going to take this down to, let's say, maybe 60%. That sounds a little better. Let's go ahead and bypass our reverb again, just so we can really hear what the delay and then our delay chorus is doing. So let's turn to our second line here, and this is going to be our chorus. Remember, again, we've panned everything to the middle, so we have a mono delay here and a mono delay here. The dual delay is no longer being used to create a stereo delay of any kind. First, we want to set this feedback to 0. We don't want any feedback on our chorus. Otherwise, we would create a flanger, which maybe we could get into in another episode. And again, this level here is basically going to become the submix for our chorus, or the level of our chorus. Now, at 4 milliseconds, we will hear some odd effect here. There's going to be a bit of filtering. And let's change this time to, let's say, 10 milliseconds. And we can hear the difference there. Let's try maybe 3 milliseconds. You can hear that the frequency of that kind of notch filtering sound is moving around, but we're not getting a chorus sound. What we need to do to really take that final step into the land of chorus is kick over to this modulation/EQ page. And these 2 controls right here, the modulation rate and the modulation depth, are now the 2 controls that you would find on any common chorus pedal. So I'm going to set a rate of 0.7 hertz because that's where I like my choruses. And I'm going to crank this modulation depth up to, let's say, 40%. So right now we're on 0. I'm going to play, I'm going to type in 40, and then I'll hit enter so you guys can hear, and we will instantly move into a beautiful swimming chorus. Boom, instantaneous swimminess, beautiful chorus. This is a very slow chorus. It's the kind of thing that I love to have on this kind of tone, but you could also make a really fast chorus, a la kind of a Nirvana sound maybe. A lot more modulation, a lot faster rate. I'm going to bring this back down to 0.7, 40%. And so let's quickly review what we've got here. On the first line of this dual delay, we have a delay at 484 milliseconds with a feedback of 30%. We've turned that delay down 40% from its 50% mix that it has overall. And then moving to our second line, we have a chorus with a delay time of 4 milliseconds, no feedback, a level of 100, which means a mix of 50%, and then a modulation rate of 0.7 hertz with a depth of 40%. And you could adjust these to taste. These are now the two knobs on your chorus pedal that is hiding within this delay block. But let's take this one tiny step further, and big shout out to Matt Picone, the director of Fractal, my dear friend, for this very cool trick. We're gonna go into expert edit here, and because the dual delay allows you to do a crosstalk feedback from left to right and from right to left, which I use a lot when I'm dialing in delays for big sounds on stage. A very cool effect when you're using it as a dual delay. What we're gonna do is actually set the feedback from right, our chorus, to left, our delay, up to 100%. So now we have effectively set these effects within this one block in series. So we are feeding the chorus line into the delay line. So let's hear how that sounds. And let's kick our reverb back on because, come on, it just sounds so good. Just a gorgeous, lush sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy scene 2 here to the end, and I'm gonna rename this one chorus, and then I'll rename this one dry chorus. And we'll go to our delay block here and copy channel B to channel C. I'm gonna set this scene to C, and I'm gonna set this scene to C as well. And then on this C channel, what I'm gonna do is just zero out the level of the delay so that we're only hearing the chorus. And then on this fourth scene here, I'm just gonna bypass the reverb so we get this. And I'll go ahead and go back to scene 1, save this preset, and I'm gonna export this preset and this chorus/delay block as well, and I will upload those, and you guys can download them at the link in the video description. And I hope for some of you that your wheels are already turning about where you might use this kind of trick, and also about what other blocks we might start to explore on Blocksmith when we dig into the rest of these blocks here, and indeed the rest of the ones that are available to you in the AM4. If you go up to this factory preset here, I actually just kind of realized it was sitting here as the last factory preset. I've actually used this chorus trick already when I went to create a comfortably numb lead for the Mr. Floyd preset here. Of course, David Gilmour's lead relies heavily on modulation effects, but with a drive, a phaser for breathe in the air, and an amp and a delay, I didn't have any room for chorus. So of course, I made a chorus right here. 6 milliseconds, 0.7, and 60% modulation depth. So there's this week's first Blocksmith trick, hiding right there in a factory preset. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you find this technique useful for some of your own presets. If you did enjoy the video, please do make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to G66's channel, and leave me a comment in the comment section below letting me know what you would like to see on a future episode of Fractal Friday. We have some very exciting tone tours coming up in 26 that are already on the books. I am stoked to share those with you guys, and in the weeks to come, we'll have some more Blocksmith episodes as well. As always, if you guys want to get the absolute most out of your Fractal Audio Systems unit, whether that's the Axfx 3, the FM9, or the FM3, make sure to visit classes.coopercarter.com for my complete Fractal Audio Masterclass series. And again, masterclasses on the VP4 and the AM4 are in the works and coming very soon. For all things Fractal Audio, keep it right here on G66, and I will see you guys very soon on Fractal Friday.